Hey everyone, my name is Courtney and this is What's for Din, and today we are going to be making my all-time favorite recipe, which is chicken pot pie, the ultimate comfort food. This is so good, it will knock your socks off. The gravy's super thick, the flavor is intense, it's just super good, and everyone always asks me for this recipe, so I want to share that with you today. So why don't we go over the ingredients so we can get started. So for the ingredients, we're actually going to make a roux for the gravy. So we're going to need some onions, minced fresh garlic, flour, a blend of spices, which I'll list in the description box. And then we're going to need some bouillon cubes, butter, and some chicken broth. And then we're also going to need, once we're done with the filling, we're going to need chicken. Now you can use rotisserie chicken, you can use leftover chicken, any kind of chicken that you want, you can use that, that's fine. Then we have a mixture of frozen vegetables. I'm using carrots, green beans, corn, and peas. Now, the reason they have to be frozen is because they'll be softer. And if they're not soft, if you're using fresh ones, then your carrots are going to be kind of hard in your pot pie, and you don't want that. I also have some cubed potatoes here. And I've pre-boiled these about halfway to their halfway done mark. Because it's the same thing, if you put them in raw, they're going to be kind of crunchy. Also, you need pie crust, and I'm using store-bought today. You can definitely make your own if you want to, and I'll be sharing a recipe soon about how to make your own pie crust. So let's head over to the stove and let's make the roux. Okay, so we're going to start by making our roux first. So in here, I've already got melting our butter, and into that, I'm going to add my onions. Make sure to get that all in there. And we're going to cook these just until they're translucent, so that they're, good enough for the roux. And then, once these are translucent, we're gonna add our garlic. So we'll come back when that's ready. Okay, so now that my onions are somewhat translucent, we're gonna go ahead and add in our garlic. And you only wanna cook this for about 3 minutes, because if you do it any longer, then the garlic's gonna brown and it's gonna give it a bitter taste. So we're gonna add in our garlic. I'm gonna add in my seasonings. Some salt and pepper, and it's really important that you season every part of your dish, and then it'll come out very well rounded and the flavor will be great. Okay, so now that our garlic and everything is cooked, you can see it has a nice golden brown color. We're going to add the flour. Now this is the part where it affects on how thick your pot pie gravy is going to be. So if you want it thicker, add a lot of flour. If you want it a little bit more watery, which I don't know who really likes it like that, but then use less flour. So we're just gonna put that in there and see how that does and mix it. And now you see it looks like almost like a dough, but that's still not thick enough for me. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And now we're gonna let this cook for about 2 minutes so that we can cook out the flour taste. Okay, so now this is cooked. The flour taste should be gone. So now we're gonna add our liquids. I forgot to mention that we needed milk. So you need some milk too in this recipe. And we'll add our chicken broth. Now depending on how much gravy or how big you want your pie to be, it depends on, you can use more chicken broth and it'll just make more. I literally use the whole thing because this gravy is so good, so. Now I'm just gonna use a whisk and whisk that up, and the flour will break down and it'll make it nice and thick. Okay, now that it's thickened up, we're gonna add the bouillon cubes. And this just adds a little bit more of a flavor. You can just use one, or you can use any kind of bouillon you have. A lot of people have the liquid types, but I prefer the cubes, so that's what I'm using today. Okay, now that it's nice and thick, as you can see, look at how thick that is. Oh, I could drink this stuff. It's that good. We're gonna go ahead and add our chicken, our potatoes, and our vegetables. And we'll mix this all together. So you can see that's a good gravy to vegetable ratio there. Okay, now it's ready, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in the pie. So now that our chicken pot pie filling is done, and it's super thick, as you can see, oh, I could just put a spoon in that and eat it. We're gonna go ahead and put it in our filling here, our pie crust. And sometimes you might have some left over. And if you do, that is just okay, because then you can save the rest and eat it with a spoon later. This makes for really good leftovers too. Okay, so now I'm gonna smooth that out a little bit. Don't worry if your crust is too small. Nothing has to be perfect. Okay, and we're gonna put the top one on. And then I'm just gonna kind of crimp the edges and kind of push these together. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, because once you bake it, it'll all come together. Okay, so now that I've crimped the edges, I've cut some, poke some little holes in the top to allow steam to come out, and I put these pieces of just tin foil and kind of fold them in half, and then I wrap them around. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't have a pie crust protector, and all this does is protect the crust from being burnt, since it has to be in there for quite some time. So now that this is done, we're going to put it in the oven. It's a 400-degree oven for about 40 minutes, or until the crust is golden brown. And remove the foil after about the first 30 minutes, and then for about 10 to 15 minutes, allow the crust to cook completely, and then it'll be done. All right, so my pot pie has been out of the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes to cool. If you can wait longer, it'd be a lot thicker, but I just can't wait no more. My house just smells so good, and I'm starving, and I gotta eat it. So let's try it out. I may have cheated, but it's so good. Oh yeah, yum. You know you want to try this, and I need to be left alone with this because it's really, really good. So all the ingredients will be listed in the description box as usual. Follow me on Instagram. If you remade it, please share it with me, because I'd love to see it. And until then, I need to be left alone, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Thanks for watching. Bye.